Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Heather Shaw is Kidding. It's your host, Heather Shaw, and I'm kidding, huh? Don't get too offended. I know you don't. We're cool, right? This is a comedy commentary podcast on current events. Okay, if you didn't know, now you know. Buckle up, buckle in. We got a lot to talk about. Let's begin. Why am I rhyming so much? I heard Kendrick Lamar's new diss song for Drake, and I have never wanted to suck a man off before until this moment, until after I've heard that song. Kendrick, come here. I know Kendrick wouldn't want it, but the offer stands. It was a great diss track to Drake. He basically said, hey, man, I hate you. And that's all you need in a diss track nowadays. Just say, I don't like you. You suck. All right, before we get into the show, I just want to go over some tour dates, upcoming tour dates. In May, I will be in Janesville, Wisconsin, and San Diego, California. Ever heard of it? In June, I'll be in D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Greenville, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll go back to San Diego in July, as well as Phoenix. And then later out in the year, I'll be in Seattle for 2 shows. I'll be in Beverly and Foxborough, Massachusetts, Tulsa, Oklahoma for 1 night, and then I'll be at the Big Diamond Comedy Festival in Bentonville, Arkansas. There's nothing else going on in Bentonville, so if you are in that area, around that area, come to the Big Diamond Comedy Festival from October 3rd to the 5th. It's going to be fantastic. Really, really good comics. If you're a stand-up comedy fan, this is the festival for you. You can support the show by becoming a Patreon member at Heather Shaw Comedy over there on patreon.com. You get an extra episode of this podcast every week. I post pictures of my dog. He's my puppy that I found in the street. His name is Blue. He still has his balls. We call him Blue Balls. It's not fun. This is a lesbian household. What are we doing? What else? You can rate and review the show if you want. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, let's get into the show, shall we? Enough with the announcements. I wanted to say shout out to St. Louis and Indianapolis. I did do some shows there last week. They were incredible shows. Thank you to everyone that came out. I got to experience in St. Louis. I found a vegan restaurant. I want to shout them out. It's called Station Number 3. It had the best vegan burger I've ever had in my life. And it wasn't a Beyond Burger. It wasn't an Impossible Burger. It wasn't a black bean burger. Those are out. Okay, goodbye. What do I want to be farting all day? Can't be having a black bean. This was a burger they made in-house. Station Number 3. If you're ever in St. Louis looking for vegan food, go there. It's fantastic, and I loved it. And Indianapolis, shout out to Indianapolis. I had some great fentanyl in Indianapolis when I was there. So if you're looking to find some fent, hit up Indianapolis. They will have you covered. That was a joke. So I'm excited to check out some other cities. What does Janesville have to offer? Beer. I don't drink. I'll take an NA beer. You can call me a pussy to my face. We're gearing up here. It's celebrity interviewing politicians time. It's the only really fun part about the months leading up to a presidential election. This one's been kind of really insane and unhinged and unwell. It's indicative of how our country is going. It's a direct mirror, a direct reflection of our entire health of our country, this election process so far, this whole presidential election process. I mean, it's just been Joe Biden going out there with his, 64th facelift? His face is tight. Holy shit. I mean, I'm just like, that man can't blink anymore. It is very tight. They have pinned his ears to the back of his head, stapled everything they could, all the saggy, loose skin. I mean, he's turning Asian. He's looking a little Asian, white Asian though. But yeah, his face, it looks like it hurts. It looks like it hurts to think. When you look at Biden, when he's got to sit there and listen to a question, and he's like, first of all, it does hurt to think. He's in his 80s. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. And then you've got, a facelift on top of it. You've got the most demanding, weird, over-the-top job. No 80-year-old should be working at all, but this man is essentially running a company. I refuse to call this a country anymore. It's just a company, and he is the CEO. He's the CEO of America. And it's just, where else are you going to find an 80-plus-year-old CEO? It's really wild. Is he 80? Am I making that up? Just for the... I want to make sure that I'm fact-checking myself here. I really don't even know how old he is. Yep, he's 81. All right, I'm not crazy. That's really depressing. That's insanely depressing. Oh, wow. His Wikipedia says he was one of the babies saved on the Titanic. Wow. That's really nice. That's really nice. That's really great. And that is very factual and true. Just look this up right now. He was a surviving baby on the Titanic. Wow. Yeah, he's 81 years old. Nobody should be 81 and the CEO of any company. Nobody should be answering questions other than, what do you want for dinner? It's almost 3 p.m. What do you want for dinner? I don't think Joe Biden could successfully answer a question watching Jeopardy at home. I don't think he'd get one of them right. So it's very wild to now we have to put him out here and do interviews. He was on Howard Stern, which was, it's a mind fuck. Howard Stern used to be the man. He's older too now. Everybody that gets old loses their cool. That's why the cool ones die young. Amy Winehouse will never be, cringy or dorky because she died when she was 27 or whatever, Amy Winehouse, if she lived and survived, she would have done a cringy thing. And we would have been like, oh my God, did you hear what Amy Winehouse posted? She would have, you age and you cringe. That's what happens. Howard Stern used to have like naked midgets. Naked little people. Don't come after me. I can run faster than you, little people. He used to have naked little people like doing oil wrestling. He has porn stars and, really mentally challenged people. I can't even say the names of one of my favorite Howard Stern characters. Her name was Wendy. Wendy the blank. I can't say it. Starts with an R. And now he's on Sirius XM, I think 3 days a week. I don't know what he's doing now. He's interviewing the president. Howard Stern interviewing Joe Biden and Joe Biden being interviewed by Howard Stern, equally, those are their rock bottoms professionally. They're both at their rock bottoms professionally. Howard Stern should never be interviewing a president. That's not what made Howard Stern Howard Stern. Joe Biden should never have to be interviewed by Howard Stern. He's the fucking president. What are we doing? It's very weird. We're in the upside down world now. This is happening. It was the most softball interview. I didn't watch it. I can't. I don't have the patience. Watching that interview would be like going to visit, a random grandma in a nursing home. Tell me again how you met your husband. You ever hear an old person try to tell you a story? God bless them. They can't recall anybody's names. It takes them 5 minutes to come up with one name. When I was 22, 23. When I was 20, it was mid-20s, and I had met my husband, and he was wearing, what is that? Oh, shoot, it's right at the tip of my tongue. A shirt? No, not a shirt. He had a shirt on, but this is what it is. I'm not going to sit through an hour of that or whatever, however long he got to interview the president. Howard was gooning over it. He was loving it. It is a professional milestone, I suppose, that he's now trusted. It is really impressive for Howard Stern to go from sticking dildos up porn stars' assholes to now interviewing Joe Biden. That's a huge, but Howard Stern fell off a while ago. He fell off for me personally. Once Artie Lang left the show, it got less funny for me. And once Howard Stern became a judge on America's Got Talent, it was over. I was like, this guy's gone for good. He's whatever he is now. It's he's I don't know. Did Ellen DeGeneres steal his soul? It's very weird. But it is impressive to go from his career to what he's doing now. But I'm not going to listen to him talk to Joe Biden. And in the clips that I did see of the interview, there were very softball questions. I mean, this isn't 60 Minutes, I suppose. This isn't a hard-hitting news program, but you got the president on, and I would assume most of Howard's fan base, I don't know, maybe half of them are liberal and the other half are like still, I don't know if Howard, I don't know if he lost the conservative viewership, because I can imagine that a lot of rednecks or Republicans or conservatives who really loved Howard when he first started, and now he's a liberal guy, and that's, you can tell that he's liberal, so maybe he lost some of the conservative viewers and followers, which it's fine, he'll be okay. But I couldn't listen to that. And Howard was gooning the entire time, as he should. He was so excited. But it was just a bullshit interview. There was nothing, you weren't going to hear about, he wasn't going to be like, so Biden, what's going on with Hamas? I mean, what are we doing over there, man? What are we fucking doing over there? He's not going to ask that. He's going to sit there, and he was sitting there going, so tell me, Joe, how did you meet your first wife? What a beautiful story. What a beautiful fucking story. Tell me about that. You met your wife. And Joe Biden would tell him about how he met his wife in 1912, at some beach. He's like, Joe Biden was trying to tell a story. He's like, it was spring break. And I went down to the beach. At that time, a flight to the beach was half of a penny. So I spent half of a penny to fly down to the beach. It was just horrible. I couldn't listen to it. It was softball. It was boring. There was nothing going on. It would have been fun if at one point Howard was like brought out the Sybian for Biden to ride. That would have been fun. Remember when Howard used to have porn stars ride the Sybian, which is like this huge clunky machine that was essentially replaced a man. It was just a moving dick. And porn stars would just ride it. That'd be a fun program. If Howard Stern's like, all right, now let's bring out the Joey boy, you gonna ride the Sybian now? Ride the Sybian. That'd be fun. I'd watch that interview for sure. Biden he'd start getting as fucked as we are as Americans, huh? Come on. I don't know if he's debating Trump. Is that happening? Is he ever gonna debate? I mean, you don't understand. That will be my second Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl being, I have 3 Super Bowls. The first Super Bowl is the actual Super Bowl. My second Super Bowl is the finale of Drag Race. My third Super Bowl is conditional, and this year it's going to be Joe Biden and Donald Trump debating each other. Please, God, make that happen. I need to see this. This will be the funniest movie I will see all year. The funniest TV series, the funniest movie, the funniest book I will ever read and see will be Biden debating Trump. 2 people who have lost it all, just trying to win it back. Oh my God, that should be the tagline for the debate. 2 old farts shitting themselves and talking about things they know nothing about. Huh? Where am I? This is the debate 2024. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Jesus, we're fucked, guys. We're cooked. You might as well just laugh as we go down with the ship. Biden went down as a baby on that ship and he came back up, so maybe we'll survive. I'm really riding with this rumor that Biden was a baby on the Titanic. Please spread it around. Please make it happen. What else? So I don't know what other interviews Biden is doing. He's got to be so fucking tired. I'm 36 years old and I'm tired. 81, that's 50 years for me. Almost. Give me some credit here. That's 45 years for me. I can't imagine having energy in 45 years. Please kill me. If I'm alive in 45 years, please kill me. And then I saw this other clip right before I started recording this podcast. This is unreal. Please go look this up. Drew Barrymore, who I've been a fan of Drew Barrymore. I mean, she's good. She's in cute movies. I love The Wedding Singer. I like 50 First Dates. I didn't really like Fever Pitch. She's, Never Been Kissed, I think is pretty fucking weird. It's one of those she's an adult going back and being a high schooler. That gets weird. But Drew Barrymore's great. And her talk show has really ruined my perception of her. I do not like Drew Barrymore. I don't buy into her big old bag of bullshit. When the writer's strike was happening, she crossed picket lines, meaning she did not support the writers on her show. She's been in the fucking industry since she was a baby. She should know that it's very important to support the writing staff on shows. They're not getting paid well a lot of the time. Did you not learn anything from Ellen's treatment of her staff? Like, what are we doing? So that was my first, red flag with Drew Barrymore. And then, so she crossed the picket lines with the strike. She didn't support her writers. She filmed her TV show during the strike, I think. She's just a, giant industry asshole. And then and then it just got, all of the clips I saw, again, I'm not going to watch her show. I'm not mentally unwell. All of the clips I've seen of her show, she's sitting so close to her guests, and like it's a therapy session that is not needed. I mean, she's like 3 inches from Jessica Chastain's face, talking about, so did you ever have like a creepy uncle? Did you ever feel like violated, Chastain? Tell me about it. Oh my God, tell me about it. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. I've just lost all respect for her because of that talk show. It's really ruined. Like, the way that I love Tyra Banks and Wendy Williams because of their talk shows, because they're so unhinged, I don't like Drew Barrymore because of how unhinged it is. It's not fun. It's like, oh, this woman needs to be locked up. She needs to be in the Britney Spears cage. There was a clip of her sitting very close to Kamala Harris. So Kamala Harris went on her show. As a vice president, you do that. Nobody needs to sell us on the vice president. We're stuck with the vice president. We're voting on the president. We just get the vice president. I don't think there's ever been an impactful vice president. Kamala Harris has certainly given us the best clips, audio clips. You think you fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all that you are and all that you ever will be. Like, she's a cuckoo bananas lady, but she doesn't need to be doing any press. I mean, she's not going to be winning over voters. Nobody is going to go, I think I'm going to vote for Biden because of that Kamala Harris lady. She's real kooky. She seems like she knows what she's doing. Says no one ever. It's so wild that a woman's so fucking kooky. The woman that's just like, we did it, Joe. Wheels on the bus go round. I mean, she is on pills and booze, and she's on the 1950s housewife diet, not the house mother. That sounds dirty. She's got a 1950s housewife diet. It's like, cottage cheese in the morning followed up by vodka all day and some Klonopin. She's a goofy lady. It's very surprising that Kamala Harris is like responsible for locking up the most amount of nonviolent drug offenders ever in California as like whatever she was, deputy of prison. I don't know what the fuck she did over there, but she was locking up people left and right. She was just like, nonviolent offenders, fuck you. So anyways, Kamala Harris went on Drew Barrymore's show, as you do as a vice president. I mean, we are so unserious. We really are. At least back in the day, we'd have like presidents and vice presidents go on like really classy late night talk shows. Johnny Carson was a classy guy. Hell, even Letterman was fun. Now it's like, we got to have Joe Biden talk to Fallon. That guy, he's so coked up. He doesn't know where he is. It's crazy. Allegedly. Don't sue me. Anyways, let's get back to this clip. Drew Barrymore is sitting 4.7 centimeters away from Kamala Harris's face. And she goes, what does she say to her? She goes, we need you. She literally says it. She's being real. She looks at her, Drew Barrymore looks at Kamala Harris and goes, this country needs you to be Mamala. And the crowd goes, woo, yeah. And Kamala Harris, if you look at this clip, as Drew Barrymore is saying, we need you to be Mamala, Kamala Harris looks like she's about to vomit in her mouth at that phrase. It is a fucking disgusting phrase. It is so weird. It didn't work. The audience has to clap because the sign says clap and people hold guns to their heads, I mean, it didn't work. It's such a insane, absurd thing to say to the vice president. I don't even respect Kamala Harris, and I felt bad for her. Girl, you better slay, twerk, quirk, work, queef. Your mama la, honey. Serve that cunt, Kamala. It was so embarrassing. And clearly they're both on drugs. Drew Barrymore is on drugs and Kamala Harris is on drugs, but they're drugs that don't cross over and mesh well. You ever go to a party on drugs and you run into somebody else and they're on different drugs and it's just not working? You know what I mean? It's like somebody's on Molly and they run into somebody on Coke and it just doesn't work. It's like oil and water. You can't have a conversation. It just doesn't work. Drew Barrymore is like clearly microdosing on shrooms, saying, we need you to be mama. And Kamala Harris is just, 300 milligrams deep into Klonopin. Just sitting there kind of like, what the fuck is, still being able to be like, this is cringy. I'm high and this is cringy. You know what I mean? Slightly puking in her mouth. They just were not vibing. It was so uncomfortable and so weird. It's also just not good. It's not good TV. Mamala? We don't need to be calling our vice president these names. Save this for Drag Race. I don't want to be like, there goes my vice president, Mamala Harris. And also, Kamala Harris, she does not have mom energy. Never once have I been like, she's got mom. She does not have mom energy. You know what she has? She has fun, drunk aunt energy. That's what she has. You know what I mean? She's the one who gets drunkest at the wedding. The wedding hasn't even started yet, and she's like, whoa! Play Nickelback. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Play Kesha. TikTok, don't stop. We're gonna ban that clock app. It's not good. She's got the fun drunk aunt energy. She smokes in her house. She locks up nonviolent drug offenders. She's like, fuck you. I'm Mamala. It doesn't work. She's not a mom. It's also just not good to be the sober one in the conversation. Kamala was clearly the sober one in the conversation. It's not good when the lady who's like, the wheels on the bus go round. We did it, Joe. That's the one who's the sober one in the conversation going, what is this bitch talking about? It's not good. The whole thing is a weird clip. I don't know who wrote that for Drew. Did she practice it in the mirror? Did she think of it when she was laying in bed the night before, microdosing on shrooms? Is Drew on another planet currently? Is her planet better than ours? Who's their president? I'd like theirs. Drew, take us to your leader. It's a wild time for politics. It's my favorite time for politics because we just start crossing celebrities with the politicians. They're all insane. They're all untrustworthy. They're all it's very good comedy content. And I really, really hope the American people deserve a debate between two hospice patients. Biden and Trump. Trump's falling asleep at his trials. He's getting, contempt or whatever. He's in contempt of court, because he's speaking out. They're fine with him falling asleep and taking naps, but, stop posting on Truth Social, man. He's talking shit about the judges in his own trial on his own app. Trump's insane. It's insanely entertaining, but also it's like, this is insane. This is the front runner for the Republican Party, not our. I'm not a Republican. Don't get crazy. People think anytime I make fun of Democrats that I'm a Republican and vice versa. And it's like, I think both parties are out of their minds. Just so you know, I'm laughing at all of you. And I always say this on stage, whatever side you believe in, whatever you believe in, you're right. Just remember that. I don't care. It's going to be a fun time for politics. All right, let's talk a little quickly about Weinstein. Weinstein's conviction seems to be getting overturned. It's like a New York State thing that's happened. This happened to Bill Cosby. Cosby, he got his rape conviction overturned. He did about almost the same amount of years, I feel like. He got convicted. He went to prison. He almost lost an eye or something. He's old as fuck. He was in prison for a while, and then, I don't know, they came up with some the reason that he should have his conviction overturned, and they were like, yeah, let him go. He's old. What's he going to do? Harm somebody again? Come on. He's Cosby. I don't know what Cosby's doing. He should be the next celebrity death, though. Put him out of his misery. But it seems to happen in New York State. in New York City especially. I mean, well, it is the same thing, but you get convicted in New York City of rape, and they will work really night and day to get your conviction overturned. That's what it seems like. The reasoning now for why they're saying Harvey Weinstein's conviction is overturned is because there were too many victims. Too many women testified on his trial, and that's not fair. Come on, judge. The defense is like, come on, man. There's so many victims, dude. We heard too much rape. We heard too much about rape. There were so many victims. It was so boring. Oh my God. So what? He did it. Let him go. That was the defense. And it went to the Supreme Court or whatever court. I don't fucking know. I'm not a lawyer. What am I, my fiance? And they said, you know what? There were too many women testifying at this thing. And there's only supposed to be 3, right? There's only supposed to be 3 women testifying. I guess the state put up more than 3 women to testify. I don't know how you make a mistake like that, but it's just a funny reason to get a rape conviction overturned is because there's too many victims. There were only supposed to be 3 people that suffered rape at the hands of Harvey Weinstein. But they let 6 women up. Oh my God. Talk about trauma. Judge, Harvey's traumatized. He didn't want to hear about all of that bad things that he did. New York State loves doing it. It's a little too, I'm thinking it's bad. Danny Masterson should have got convicted in New York. You know, he got convicted in LA. He's fucked. I think they're just going to keep his rape conviction over there. They're not even going to look at it again. They already forgot about Danny. Thank God. If he got convicted in New York, they would have worked night and day to figure out a loophole to get him out of there. And by they, I mean the state that put him away. It's crazy. I don't know what Weinstein will do when he's out. All I know about Weinstein now, I think of three things when I think of Harvey Weinstein. Number one, I think of Good Will Hunting. And if you've never seen Louis C.K.'s bit on Good Will Hunting, please go watch it. I know Louis C.K. is a little problematic with what he did, but he's no Weinstein. Let's remember that. What else do I think of? I think of Jennifer Lawrence. Because Jennifer Lawrence played the game. She allegedly, it's very well known, she allegedly fucked Harvey Weinstein and got these roles. And never really came out and said anything disparaging about him. She played the fucking game. Wouldn't you if you were Jennifer Lawrence at the age of 20 or what the fuck ever? If you are an aspiring actress already, and you're in LA, already you don't have morals or integrity. You will do anything to be famous, to be working. Jennifer Lawrence has a fantastic life now. I'm not excusing what Harvey Weinstein did, but that was a alleged consensual sexual relationship that they both benefited from. I mean, I don't know. If I was in Jennifer Lawrence's positions, would I shoot down Harvey Weinstein? I mean, that's a hard lay. Apparently, he's got a deformed penis. Let me look this up. He has a deformed penis, and that was one of the reasons that they were able to verify so many allegations, because all the women would say the same thing about his penis, how horrific it was. Isn't that so depressing? I mean, I'm so happy that he has a deformed penis. It's just so funny that they're like, yeah, I could point him out in a lineup. He's the one with the crooked dick. Apparently, Weinstein had sustained scarring and alterations in his genitalia from a 1999 surgery to remedy Fournier's gangrene. He had gangrene on his goddamn dick. Doctors removed some of Weinstein's scrotum, his balls, and placed them into his thighs. So he's walking around with ball thighs and no balls where his dick should be, and his dick's all weird. It's all deformed. It's gross. I mean, that's probably part of the reason the guy wants power over women, you know? His piece is depressing as hell. And, you know, he could find somebody to suck his weird, crooked hook dick with no balls. The balls are sitting in his, thigh like a tumor. Somebody was probably like, Harvey, you have a tumor. He's like, no, those are my balls in my thighs. Leave me alone, lady. I thought I said not to talk to me. Don't even look at me. We'll see what happens with the Weinstein thing. I'm not surprised anymore. It's like, really, you get a conviction for a rapist. Nowadays, it's incredibly hard to do. And when they do go away, it seems like, there's ways to get them out. We don't just say like, hey, man, deal with it. We go, there were too many victims. That's not fair. Let them out. That's not fair. Here's so many victims. All right, let's get into ads. Lucy Brown, baby. Enjoy coffee from Lucy Brown Coffee Bar without ever leaving the comfort of your home. I love Lucy Brown Coffee Bar. I love the owner, Sarah Brown. She's fantastic. She's got a great coffee shop here in Lexington, Kentucky. If you ever visit, you have to stop by. If you don't, you're homophobic. Lucy Brown is offering coffee subscriptions. You've got to get on this. It's a good deal. All you got to do is simply fill out the form on their website and get coffee beans from different and exciting roasters sent straight to your door. And that starts all at just $20 a month. I've signed up for the subscription months ago. I jumped on it. I'm a coffee head, baby. I mean, I drink coffee nonstop. I love coffee. I love the coffee subscription. It's so easy. Every month I get a new bag of coffee. I mean, that's my fentanyl. Visit LucyBrownCoffee.com. That's LUSSI, browncoffee.com, and follow the coffee subscription button to get signed up today. Plus, if you use the code HeatherShawIsKidding when you sign up for your subscription, you will get 10% off your first order. It's a great deal. It's a great female-owned coffee shop, a lesbian, female-owned, female-owned lesbian, queer coffee shop here in Lexington, Kentucky. You can't get any better. If you want to support a small business like this, you should. Fuck Starbucks. Don't go to Starbucks. Don't do it. What are you, Amy Schumer? Get out of here. Go to Lucy Brown, get great coffee, live a good life, support a small business, be a good person, do good. Thank you. Have you ever wondered if you might be autistic? Have you? Be honest, it's just me and you here. Or maybe you were recently diagnosed with autism, and now you're trying to understand autism and your place in the autistic community. I've got the podcast for you if this is all ringing true. It's called the Other Autism Podcast, baby, and it's here to help. I love the Other Autism Podcast. It's very interesting. When I drove from Indianapolis to St. Louis, I was listening to the Other Autism Podcast. It's extremely interesting. I love it. The host is amazing. Each episode, your host, Kristen, will bring you interviews with autistic people who were diagnosed as adults, which is fun because it's not just people that were like, yeah, I was born autistic, knew I was autistic, here I am. It's people that went through life without this autism diagnosis. I'm not smart. Leave me alone. They went through life, and then later on, they were like, holy shit, it's autism. You know what I mean? And then they were able to navigate their lives knowing that, which can change your life for the better in a lot of ways. On this podcast, you'll hear what it was like for them going from undiagnosed for most of their lives and then how they came to terms with their autistic identities later on. It's very informational. It's very interesting. I like it. If you like learning, you're going to love this. The Other Autism Podcast also covers the latest in autism research and topics at the forefront of autistic culture and scholarship. If you are autistic or wondering if you might be, you have to tell me. If not, that's entrapment. No, I'm kidding. That's just a fun one. If you're autistic or wondering if you might be, the Other Autism Podcast helps you to feel more informed and less alone. You can find the Other Autism Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Check it out, subscribe, rate it, leave a review. Be a pal, won't you? Thank you. If you want to have an ad on this podcast, I'll absolutely do that. All you got to do is reach out to me at heathershawcomedy@gmail.com. And we'll talk about it, baby. Let me talk about Blue Chew. I know there's a lot of listeners here that wish they had a boner. I don't know if they have a dick. They might have a Weinstein dick, but they still want a boner. All right, I'm just going to pull up. We're going to wing the second half of this episode, and I'm really excited about it. I like a good riff. I like a good wing. I don't know if you can tell. This is not a scripted show. It's just kind of like bullet points, and so I have some bullet points here I wanted to go over. The first one being I just wrote Darren Criss, culturally queer, and we got to get into that. Do you remember Glee? Glee was a show that was popular at, what was it, like mid-2000s? It was about, faggy kids in high school singing in their Glee club, and everybody liked Glee, and I think it was a good representation for gay people for a while. We didn't really have much. Lesbians had the L word, and, to this day, that is an awful program. It's not good. There is nothing good about the L word, starting with the theme song. Who the fuck do they think they are? What is the creator's name? I want her name. Eileen Chaikin? She needs to be arrested for that theme song, an L word. It's not okay. I'd rather listen to all the covers in Glee than listen to that theme song once. Anyways, gays didn't really have enough. Really didn't have a lot in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. We're talking, I think, like 2008, 9, 10. You know, we didn't have a lot. Glee was definitely a show for gays and straight women who dated gay boys in high school. I did not watch it. You know, I would see a clip. I was, you know, probably a teenager. I'd see a clip and I'd go, I'm gay. I'm not that gay. Okay. My brother is gay and he listened to show tunes nonstop in our childhood. So it was very triggering to me to have to listen to anything in Glee, because it was like, it's like I'm living with my brother again, and we're at home and we're 14 and he's, you know, won't shut up about this. You know, what's the Wicked one? God, he had so many posters in his room. Rent, Wicked. I don't even, I mean, it's just, it was insane. Chicago. I'm sure I would like musicals, but my gay brother ruined them for me. Anyways, Darren Criss was a star in Glee. He was at an event. What is he? He was a teenage dream for viewers. I don't know what he did in Glee. I'm sorry, I'm not in on it. I don't know the Glee thing. I'm not a Gleek. Sorry, I'm not a Gleek. Darren Boy was at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. Things you do when you were a hit star of a show 20 years ago. Or what, 15? Sorry, I don't know math. Somebody asked him if he was gay. There are a lot of gay. Chris Colfer is very gay. He's Kurt. I think he was the gayest character. Chris Colfer. I gotta say, I'm surprised he's not. I always thought maybe he would be transgendered, but you know, I think he's just a gay guy, which is fine. I think Chris Colfer. What did he do? Did he help? I think he helped JoJo Siwa with like part of her song, and that's unforgivable. And so now I'm not a Chris Colfer fan. I never was. Anyways, Chris himself identifies as a straight cisgender man, but at this Chicago Expo, he says that he is pretty much culturally queer. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean, dude? Just say you're gay. I mean, you being cast on Glee should have been your sign that you're gay. Darren Criss seems gay to me. I don't mean to out anybody. It's fine if he's straight, if he's if he loves pussy. It's just weird to, what do you mean you're culturally queer? Does that just mean you like Chappell Rowan? Yeah, I'm culturally queer. Anytime I worked with Chris Colfer, I didn't beat him up. Let's say he is straight. I mean, I'm sure Darren Criss would come out as gay if he was gay, to be honest, because that would get him some publicity. But it's just weird that he's taking on this like culturally queer label. It's like, yeah, I'm not interesting enough, and I know that the only audience I've ever had has been all gay boys and some gay girls. So, yeah, I'm culturally queer. Whatever you need. Look at me. I paint my nails. And they're just like a clear coat. Yeah, I'm culturally faggoty. It just means he didn't beat up, Chris Colfer on set. Culturally queer means, he really, really wishes he was bisexual, but it just won't happen for him. That's what it means to be culturally queer. It means like he can recite one song in Grease. Not word for word, but he can get the melody. He's culturally queer. It means like if he got drunk enough, he might be able to kiss Harry Styles, but it's a hard might. And Harry he'd have to close his eyes. I don't know what culturally queer means, and I don't know why he has to. It's a weird thing, man. Everybody can just be queer now. You don't have to suck dick if you're a man. You don't have to date a woman if you're a woman. You can just be culturally queer. I love all the gay things. I love Drag Race, but honey, imagine a woman saying that. So many straight women are going to come out as culturally queer now because they're like, I love Drag Race so fucking much, but I also love my welder boyfriend, Daryl. I'm culturally queer. I go to Disney at least 4 times a month. I am culturally queer. It's just a bummer. Also, I thought he was gay. Let's see what else he says. I have been so culturally queer my whole life, he continued. Not because I'm trying, Actually, I was going to say not because I'm trying to be cool, But I'm going to erase that because I am trying to be cool. This can't be a real quote. This is a real fucking quote. Can I read this again? This is literally what he said. This is exactly what I mean. People are coming out as queer because they want to be like in a part of something that's not just I'm a straight cisgendered dude or person. Ugh. Here's the quote. I have been so culturally queer my whole life. Not because I'm trying. Actually, I was going to say not because I'm trying to be cool, but I'm going to erase that because I am trying to be cool. The things in my life that I've tried to emulate, learn from, and be inspired by are 100% queer as fuck. I gotta write a strongly worded letter to my Congress about this guy. I don't feel good about it. I need him to just step away from the gays. He's basically saying like, yeah, I'm trying to be cool, man. I'm trying to like stand out and be different. I was the one straight guy on Glee. It sucked. The only other straight guy, he died from a heroin overdose. Well, there was another straight guy, but he hung himself from a tree after they found CP in his computer. Do you remember that guy? Boy, what a run for the men on Glee. The teacher, Matthew Morrison, he's another guy that's like, are you sure you're not gay? He's another one that goes around, picking up women going, I'm culturally a faggot, but I'd love to eat your ass. The men on Glee, they're not doing well. Corey Monteith, the star, heroin overdose. Mark Saling, CP, on his computer, was about to be arrested for it, hung himself. So, you know what? Now I'm on the other side. Darren Criss can call himself a faggot all he wants. Just, as long as he's not, overdosing in a hotel or looking at kitty stuff, it's fine. Let him be culturally queer. I mean, they've had a bad run. Leah Michelle can't read. Leah Michelle is like every middle schooler in America now, except she's like in their 30s. They all can't read. All right, I really went back and forth on that one, huh? We got to a point here. I think it's okay that Darren Criss thinks he's gay because it's the least of our worries considering the track record of men on Glee. Okay, boom. That's our stance. Thanks for following me on that one. Okay, this one is one I love that I saw happen today. Barbra Streisand commented on Melissa McCarthy's picture on Instagram. And Barbra Streisand is old. Let's look up her age. Barbra Streisand. What's her age? Barbra Streisand was also a baby when the Titanic went down. Oh my God. It says here in Wikipedia, she was holding Joe Biden's baby hand as the Titanic went down. Wow. She's 82 years old. Okay. So this explains a lot. Also, that is very true. You can look it up. Joe Biden and Barbra Streisand were holding hands as babies on the Titanic as it went down. Send it to print. Okay. So let's talk about this that happened today. McCarthy, she's 53 years old. That doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? She looks amazing. And she's a fucking fantastic actress. I love Melissa McCarthy. She's so goddamn funny. She could do no wrong in my book. She can get her bag and she can do whatever gig she wants. Fuck you if you don't like Melissa McCarthy. She's great. Melissa McCarthy posted a photo of herself with a choreographer, Adam Shankman. Oh, we know him. He's who's we? Adam Shankman, I believe, is on So You Think You Can Dance or something like that. He's a choreographer. He's a celebrity choreographer. Okay. Melissa McCarthy posts this really cute picture of her and this choreographer, Adam Shankman. And and this is on Instagram. Barbra Streisand, 82 years old. Remember that. Barbra Streisand commented on the picture and she put, what was the thing? Hold on. I'm trying to find exactly what she commented because it was so goddamn funny. She posted, so it's, Melissa posted a picture of the guy and said like, oh, me with Adam, love him. And Barbra Streisand goes, give him my regards. Hey, did you take Ozempic? Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, part of me is thinking Barbra Streisand is just being a shady little bitch. Just because she's 82 doesn't mean she's forgotten how to be shady. If you haven't checked out Kathy Griffin's story about Barbra Streisand painting Oprah Winfrey's only mic all white for performance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, please go look at that story, because that is what it is giving. Barbara Streisand being a catty little bitch because she can. And also she's 82, and so maybe some of it is her just being like, I don't know how the internet works, and that's very valid. But dude, to have Barbara Streisand be like, love it. Hey, did you take that Ozempic? You're looking a little thin. I fucking love it so much. You know, I love Melissa McCarthy. I don't find it offensive. It's just such an old woman on Facebook thing to do. Who's given Barbara her control of her Instagram? Who's doing that? Does she have a team anymore? No 82-year-old should be on Instagram alone. That's dangerous. I don't care who you are. Barbara Streisand commenting on Melissa McCarthy. Are you on Ozempic, hon? That's giving old woman on Facebook. You ever see a friend post a picture on Facebook and their mother will comment, beautiful picture, so Aunt Wendy died? It's giving that. Parents love to do that on Facebook. Older people love to do that on Facebook. You know what I mean? Somebody will, you could just post an innocent picture of like a cat and just say like, cat nap Saturday. And your old as fuck grandma will comment, you used to look better. It's insane shit like that. I love this. I'm not feeling well. This may be my last week on earth. Pray for me. Send. I mean, Barbara Streisand has entered her Facebook era. It's amazing. I can't believe she commented that. I think she followed it up. What did she say? And she's not wrong, by the way. Streisand is not wrong. Melissa McCarthy has lost some LBs. She's got a shit ton of money now. She's a celeb. She can do whatever she wants. All right. Barbara Streisand said, this was posted to Barbara's story. Do we believe that Barbara Streisand knows how to post to her Instagram story? No, we don't. You know somebody snatched this from her and said, no, we got to do some damage control. So on Barbara Streisand's story, it says, oh my God. I went on Instagram to see the photos we'd posted of the beautiful flowers I'd received for my birthday. Below them was a photo of my friend, Melissa McCarthy, who I sang with on my encore album. Okay, way to make it about you. Okay, Barbara, we get it. You're a diva, bitch. You're 82, but we don't forget. You're the diva. She looked fantastic. I just wanted to pay her a compliment. I forgot the world is reading. Yeah, I love it. Please forget all the time. Please don't take away Barbara's access. Please, whoever. Does she have kids? I don't think she has kids. She's too selfish to have a child. Barbara Streisand's the type of woman to be like, I don't want kids. I don't want to ruin my body. And for what? For a little weasel to be following me around? You could never make a clone of me. I'm a one of one, baby. Oh, I love it. She's 82. 82-year-olds, as we're learning, they should not be online commenting on celebrity photos. They should not be running a country or company. They shouldn't be on Howard Stern. They shouldn't be up and about for more than 3 hours a day. Barbara Streisand and Joe Biden are from the same era. Like I said, they were on the Titanic together. They survived those cold waters together. Let them rest. They've lived a life. Get them offline. Get them out in front of our faces. I don't want to see them anymore. Let the 80-year-olds rest. I can't believe we're going to have another Biden presidency. This can't be good. This will be the first time in our era. If Biden gets reelected, let's be very serious about this. This will be the first time in our lifetime that a sitting president will die in office, right? I mean, there's no fucking way this guy lives to 85? I mean, I guess he could if he's got the good drugs. I don't know. It's a very high probability that this will be the first president of our lifetime that we see die in office. I mean, we didn't. I mean, maybe you lived through JFK. I didn't. That's an interesting take on that one. I don't know. We'll see. The last thing I want to talk about, I don't know if I can say his name, but there is somebody on Facebook that I'm following, and I can't believe this man. I can't tell if it's mental illness or meth or both. If you're on Facebook and you don't give a fuck about Facebook and you just want to make your Facebook entertaining, start accepting every friend request you get. That's my biggest piece of advice. I gave up on caring about Facebook about, 5 years ago. And I started accepting every single friend request that came through, whether I knew the person or not. 90% of the time, I don't know them. You know, it didn't matter to me. It was no harm, no foul. What's going to happen? You know, all that happens is my Facebook feed is now entertaining as fuck and lively and like the biggest train wreck. And I love it so much. It's my new version of Jerry Springer. You know, people I don't know, drama nonstop. It's fucking great. And I found a guy that I guess I had accepted his friend request. I never friend request people on Facebook. I haven't friend requested somebody in probably a decade on Facebook. So this guy must have friend requested me somehow. I don't know who he is. He's an older guy, probably in his 40s, but, you know, worn rough, you know, a rough looking 40s. I don't know where he lives. I don't want to say his full name. His name is Shane. He is convinced that he is dating Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld is this actress. I don't really know what she's in. I don't know what she does. I do know that she's dating Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback, and that's the only reason I know of Haley Steinfeld. He's convinced because there is a scammer who has convinced him that they are Haley Steinfeld, and they're talking over WhatsApp, and he constantly posts their conversations. And it's clearly like it's a very Nigerian prince scenario where it's like, I know he's sending this person money. And the scammer is on WhatsApp and they're like, hi, baby, it's Haley. And he posts these screenshots of these conversations. And it's like, you know, it's so clearly a scam that I'm like, either this guy is mentally ill or he's so high on drugs that he's believing it. He'll post the screenshots and be like, me and my baby Haley were talking, told ya. Because everybody that comments is like, this is a scam, Shane. This is not really Haley. Shane, please listen to me. This is a scam. And he always comments like, fuck off. You're jealous. You're just jealous. Fucking hater. This guy is a guy that lives in like a studio apartment. He's definitely in the north. He's probably in like Michigan or something. I don't know where he is. He's convinced he's dating Haley Steinfeld. Every day he's posting at least 10 posts of YouTube songs, you know, like a shitty Creed song. And he's like, I'm dedicating this to my baby Haley. Love you. Can't wait to see you tonight. It's like, you're not seeing her tonight, sir. It is the best fucking train wreck. Every night I pull it up before bed and I catch up on the Shane Haley Steinfeld relationship. It is so fucking good. I guess what I want you to take from this is please start accepting all friend requests. Give up on Facebook being an acceptable platform for anything other than the DMV of social media. It is the mental health hospital. It is an insane asylum. It is the nut house. It is Girl Interrupted for everyone. Just treat it like that, and it's so fucking fun. And I'm kind of waiting to see. There have been people that have commented on Shane's post and out of really sincere concern. And then other people that hype him up. They're like, man, you're so lucky, brother. I'd love to meet Haley. You're so lucky that you get to date her. And then he posts like a stock photo of Haley Steinfeld. Like clearly not a candid photo of her. He's like, yeah, Haley just sent me this. And it's just Haley Steinfeld on a red carpet. It's so clearly, you know. And some people are hyping him up and other of his friends are really concerned and like, Shane, please do not send this person money. This is a scam. Somebody else, a lot of people will comment, dude, you know Haley Steinfeld is dating Josh Allen, right? And he'll just be like, shut up, hater. He's starting to sound like JoJo Siwa in my head. Dream guest on my podcast? Haley Steinfeld. It's crazy. I wish I could say his full name, but, you know, I don't want to put the guy on blast. I'll keep you updated on where it goes. I'm waiting to see if he checks into rehab, if he, you know, says, you know, he gets one good night's rest and realizes that it's been a scam, or if he ends up homeless, you know, money, because he sent it all to this, you know, clearly a scam artist who doesn't even have to do any hard work. They just have to pull some pictures of Haley Steinfeld and send it to him and be like, I miss you, baby. It's crazy. I love Facebook. It's so unhinged. I'm excited because My Life on the D-List, Kathy Griffin's amazing award-winning reality show. It's my favorite reality show that has ever been released. It is now available for streaming on Peacock. This is not an ad. I just need you to know to go watch it. It is the funniest thing. If you're really into how the industry works, what it's like to be a comedian at Kathy's level, at a certain time she was not as famous as she's certainly been this past decade. It's, you know, she was on Suddenly Susan in the 90s, and then she was a struggling comedian. And so the reality show in the beginning, I would say the first 3 seasons are absolutely phenomenal. They're hilarious. She has no shame. She brings camera crews around and she kind of has to do humiliating gigs. I remember one time she goes to Vegas to hold a convention for Pepto-Bismol. She holds an eBay auction for somebody to spend the weekend at her home. Some fan that wasn't even a fan of hers. Really humiliating stuff, but it's very, very, very funny. And it's also very vulnerable. She goes through a divorce. She finds out her husband's been stealing from her first husband. Her father and her mother are hilarious. Her father passes away. It's just an outstanding reality show. It's very fun if you're very interested in the industry through the eyes of somebody who's not a bullshit artist, A-list celebrity. It's not PR. It's real. And it came out in the time when reality shows were not polished. Nobody really knew what the fuck they were doing. Do you remember Rock of Love, The Surreal Life, or The Surreal House, Celebrity Rehab, Flavor of Love? These shows that came out at the birth of reality shows. I mean, really before these shows, all you really had was like MTV's Real World. And that was a structured kind of controlled experiment of reality TV, but you didn't really see any spawns of it. I think Survivor was one of the first reality competition shows, if not the first. And then beyond that, you didn't really see a lot of like real reality shows. Certainly not done the way that My Life on the D-List was done. It is super fucking great. I highly recommend it. It's streaming now on Peacock. Please go check it out. Kathy Griffin is one of the funniest comedians. If you don't like Kathy Griffin, you'll find the show great because you find her in situations and scenarios that you wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy. It's like really shitty gigs, being turned down by, celebrity stylist and agent. It's just very, very fun. If you do like Kathy Griffin, you're really going to love it. So check it out. That's just a plug because I love Kathy Griffin and she's very, very funny and that show is my favorite. I did see Baby Reindeer as well. Amazing. I saw it on Netflix. It was amazing. I highly recommend Baby Reindeer. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. But the main actor, it's a true story that the main actor had happened to him. And he wrote a show, I believe a one-man show about it. And that got turned into this Netflix series that is absolutely phenomenal. It's dark. Episode 4 is phenomenally done. It covers male sexual assault when the male is the victim of sexual assault by another man. The trauma that is carried. You don't see a lot of programs talk about men being the victims of sexual assault, unfortunately. It's just not a thing. So I could imagine this would be cathartic and therapeutic for men that have been victims in any, whether it's, being sexually assaulted by men or women, whatever it is. It's incredibly well done. Great story. Still manages to be funny, even though there's a lot of dark content. Still, it's intriguing. You know what my favorite thing is? The pacing. I mean, it doesn't take, some shows you're like, yeah, it's good, but give it like 3 episodes and then it'll really pick up. This picks up immediately. From the opening scene, you're there and it's off to the races. Enjoy Baby Reindeer on Netflix. Enjoy My Life on the D-List on Peacock. Let me know if there's any movie recommendations you have. God, I love this episode is dedicated to all the 80-year-olds out there still pretending that they're relevant. All the ones that have to run the countries and be on Instagram. Take a break. Take a nap. Not a dirt nap. I'm not saying that. Just, please retire forever. All right, until next time, thanks for listening. Oh, wait, let me remind you once more of the things. I always forget. Don't forget to subscribe, listen, rate, and leave a review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. If you don't, you are homophobic, I promise. That's a joke. You can support the show and get a bonus episode of this podcast by subscribing to my Patreon. It's only $3 a month. For $3 a month, you can sponsor a gay. Upcoming shows, all the tour date tickets, all the show tickets are on my website at heathershawcomedy.com. My recent ones are going to be Janesville, Wisconsin. I got 2 shows in San Diego coming up. Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Greenville, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Phoenix, Seattle, Massachusetts, Tulsa, Bentonville for the Big Diamond Blue Festival. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for checking in every week. If you do and listening to this podcast, tell people about this podcast or don't gatekeep the podcast. I don't know. You do you. See ya. Stay gay. Bye.